This is a demonstration of the Combi-King touchscreen. First thing we have to do is touch the green spot. The buttons to be used to operate the oven are, first of all, the start-stop button. When you go to a program and you want to start it, you would hit the start button. If you wanted to get out of that program once it's running, you push it and it will stop the program you're in. This is a page back, so if you're working in a program and you're building the second step and you want to go back to the first, you can either touch this or move back to the screen and move back one step in the programming. This is far easier. If you're in recipes and you've chosen the wrong recipe, you can push this and it will take you back to the original recipe file. If you're in and cooking and you do stop it and you want to go back to the menu, all you would do is touch this. When you touch this, it will always go back to this screen right here. And the last one is a button to push for light in the cavity. You will have 2 minutes once the oven starts cooking with the light on, then it will automatically go off. And to relight the cavity, all you will do is touch the button and it will relight the cavity. And lastly, this is the master knob, which will allow you to move to different sections on the screen. We'll also store each one of the steps from temperature, time, fans, open vents, programming. This, by pushing it, will store each unit, or by moving it, will bring it temperature up or temperature down, time up or time down, then touch to save. You'll see manual cooking, recipes, and service come up. We'll start with manual cooking. This is a true touch screen, so touch the screen and immediately you go into manual cooking. This is where you can manually cook time and temp and different types of cooking, or program for recipe building. And let me show you first of all how to cook time and temp. All you would do is choose the type of cooking you want, and this is convection, combi, or steam and a hold. So let's pick convection. Then we would adjust the temperature by touching the screen and moving the knob to what temperature we want. Touching the screen again to save it. Touching time to set the time. You can adjust fan speed from 1 to 6. You can also choose core cooking by touching the core, and you're actually in a probe cooking and it will show you the temperature on the screen. You will touch this and adjust the internal temperature of the finished product. If you choose you don't want probe cooking, all you do is touch the time screen again, and you can go and adjust the time to whatever you'd like. You can pick preheat here also. Preheat would be an algorithm that's built into the oven that will set the correct preheat temp above the temp of your cook. We've chosen it. We also can do a cool down. We can also do open or close vents. We can open the vent if we want open. If we want closed to keep moisture in, we can do that. We now have built a basic program that we can touch the start and actually start cooking. You'll note this is showing the internal temperature of the oven, and this is the time for the preheat, and there will be no time that shows up. It will reach preheat and beep. When it beeps, you will open the oven, put the product in, and close the door, and the oven will automatically start into the cook and beep when it's finished. That's basically the manual cook. And as I said, this is also the place to build programs for the recipes. So let's do that. Now we're going to build a program, and we'll get completely back to the beginning menu. We will touch manual cooking, and we're going to build a program. So we first choose the mode of cooking. I'm going to pick combination. I'm going to pick temperature at 325 degrees. I'm going to pick time at 12 minutes. I'm going to pick a fan speed, total, the highest fan speed I can use. I am going to pick a preheat because I want the oven to preheat. Don't cheat the preheats. All ovens require preheats. I'm going to choose the moisture, 25%. I've set the first step of my cooking program. Let's say now I want a second step. I would go up to phases and I touch phase. and it says new phase. I'm going to touch new phase. That will bring me to the next step of cooking. So at this point, I'm going to go back to combination cooking. I'm going to go to a higher temperature. Let's go to 375. I'm going to do another 10 minutes. I'm going to adjust the fan speed down just a little bit. I'm going to adjust the moisture to 20, a little bit less. I've got the second step in there now. Let's say I wanted a third and final step. I would touch phase again, and I would push new, and I'm in a third step. This I'm going to leave at convection. I'm going to open the vent. I'm going to cook at 400 for the last step. Okay, and I want to put a probe in. You'll notice it dropped to 399. In converting from centigrade to Fahrenheit, they're not an even conversion. Sometimes it will go to 401, sometimes it will go to 399. I'm going to go probe cooking for the last step. I will push, choose the probe, and I'm going to look for an internal temperature of 180 degrees, which is chicken internal temp for finished cook. So we'll go over here to 180. Excuse me. .180 is my final internal cook, and now I have a program built with 3 steps. The last thing to do, if I wanted to save this, I would push memory. It will say save, and I do want to save it. I can touch the screen, and I want to put this into poultry, and I'm going to hit it, and it's going to come to a keyboard. You need to erase the manual setting at the top, and we're going to call this Game Hen. The space is after the Z. Hen. And to save this, all we'll do is push the end. It immediately saves the program. And let's go back now and find it. We'll go back to the programs. We'll go to Recipe. We'll go to Poultry. And we'll look for Game Hen. Game Hen, there it is. We'll touch it to see the screen. 3 steps. The first step is the preheat. Now all we do is hit the start button, and it asks, is the probe correctly placed? We would correctly place the probe in the meat. Hit OK. The oven will now go to preheat. When the oven finishes preheat, we will open the door, set the Game Hens with the probe in the oven, close the door, and it will automatically go into cook. And it will go through its cycles, finish, and beep when it's ready. We're going to go back into the recipe side. To stop any program that you're in, all you have to do is stop it and go back to menu, and you'll return to the beginning. You never get lost, and if you do get lost, make sure you get out and come back to the main screen. So let's go into recipes. There are 8 different categories of recipes supplied on this oven. Each one has a number of menus underneath it. So let's push meat, and you'll note a number of items that you scroll through using the knob, and you go down and choose. Let's say we want to pick skirt steak. We're happy with skirt steak. We touch it. It immediately goes into the program, and we hit start. It's going to ask for the probe to be set. OK. The oven will automatically go into a preheat and then up and running, and will beep when it's ready to load, and it will also beep when it's finished. Let's get out of this program. We'll go to another one. Very simply, go into recipe. Let's pick a poultry item. Rotisserie chicken. Simple program already in there for you. All you need to do is push the start. The oven will automatically go into the preheat. It's showing the internal temp right now. When it finishes the preheat, it will beep. When it beeps, you open the door, load the product, close the door, and it will automatically beep when it's finished. we'll get out of this program and right back to the beginning. Very simple operation. Let's go to the third section, which is the service section. Service section has the wash programs, a date and time, parameters for your service people, backlighting of the screen that can be adjusted, system information, which is important, and I'll show you that as we go, language changes, and advanced functions, which is your service department. Let's push first the wash, and you'll note a rinse cycle, manual, soft, normal, intense, and hard. The rinse is about a 2 to 3 minute rinse with just plain water. The manual wash is a wash where you will push the manual, the oven will automatically cool down to 150 degrees. It prompts you to spray chemicals into the cavity of the oven, then you close the door and it will automatically steam clean the oven. And the last step, it will beep, and you use the spray hose that's supplied with all ovens to spray the complete inside of the oven down until the water runs clean and the oven will be clean. Let's go back to the wash cycles. That's the manual. Soft is a basic for light washing. Normal will give you cleaning on 75% of what you do. The intense is if you're cooking a lot of chicken with a lot of grease, and the hard is the hardest of the washes. It's 2 hours and 36 minutes and usually is done overnight, and that is for a very dirty oven. So that's basically the wash cycles. Also in here I can adjust the date and time just by touching the date. I can change it. I can change the month by touching. The day. The hour, wherever I want it to be, and the minutes wherever I want it to be. And all I do is then go back to menu, and that will automatically store for me. Other things in service, parameters, which is, I've said is for service only. Backlighting is the ability to adjust the brightness of the whole screen dependent upon how bright your oven cavity is. And we'll go into system then. This is a very important part of the system. This will tell you what your unit is, your serial numbers, and you'll note this is a 00. This is a simulator, but if in real life you would see all of your information that you need to share with your service agent if there's a problem with the oven. And then lastly, the language, and there are 5 languages: Italian, English, German, Spanish, and French. And all you do to choose is you just touch the language you want and the oven immediately will change. I'll not change this from English because we're working on this presentation. Okay, so that was the last one, the language, and then advanced functions. That's all for your service group. That's the basics of the operation of the oven. Very simple to operate, very easy to store. To upload recipes or download recipes, it's very simple using memory stick. Open the door, insert the stick into the USB port, hit service, and you will now see below advanced, uploads, downloads, and firmware upgrades, which will be supplied to you at no charge. To upload programs, all I would do is go to the upload and hit the knob, or downloads and hit the knob. And I'll show you how simple this is. Hit the button, it's going to say wait for job, it's done. It stores very quickly, it's a very small file, and that now has downloaded all of your recipes onto the stick. That stick can be sent to different locations to program other ovens to match the original. If I decided to use the upload, exactly the same, hit the button, it would upload immediately. Simple operation. If your oven is supplied with a lockout, which we will do for you if you request it, the manual cooking and the building of the recipes will not be there. All you'll see is the recipes in the service. You'll be able to pick recipes or you'll be able to pick wash, but you will not be able to adjust time, temperature, or anything within the programs. And that is supplied for line cooks and the like, where the head chef has set the programs and he does not want them changed. It locks out all of the operators from being able to change the programs. Now, he will also be able to take off the lockout to program products again by way of holding the master knob when there's a lockout on. When you hold the lockout knob in, it will come to a keyboard. You're going to enter the password unlock please, hit end, and it will show this screen. And that's when the chef can build the programs or adjust the recipes. And to put the lockout back on, all you'll do is shut the oven off and turn it back on, and it will come back with just the recipe and the service screens. This is the last screen you will see in a recipe. When the program comes to the end, it will ask you a question, 5 minutes plus or end. This is where you'll probe the product that's in the oven. You open the door, check the internal temp. If you're happy with it, fine, just hit end. If you're not happy with it, you would push the additional 5 and the program would go back in and cook for 5 minutes more at the same temperature. At the end of that 5 minutes, this screen will show again. It will ask you to probe the product by asking, do you want 5 minutes more? If you probe it, if you're happy with where it is, all you would do is push the end and it will immediately go back to the program. You'll note this icon right here, push it. You'll come to a very important part of this oven. This is a staging program where you can control rack cooking. This would be used in a la carte cooking or batch cooking. The way this works is I can pick number 1 and I can choose time cooking or probe cooking. Let's say I pick time. Let's say I put 40 minutes in. It will show 40 minutes for the first item. The next item I want to put in, I want to do time, and I want it to be 23 minutes. The third one could be 21 minutes. Now, when I start this oven, the oven will immediately beep to tell me that this product is ready at 22 minutes. When I open the door and pull it, it will automatically go to the next time, and 1 minute after this, it will tell me this product in number 2 is done. When I open the door and pull it, it will also give me the third one, and it will time down the 17 minutes till the third item is done and beep and tell me the third item is done. That's a great way to plan your products. You can plug in a product anywhere you want it to be and adjust the time and temp through each one of the racks. So you can put products in as long as they cook at the same time, the same temperature, with the same amount of fan. You can add up to 10 products on this and track each one of them. I'm going to show you quickly how you would program it. All you would do is push the mode of cooking, convection, combi. I'm going to do combi. I'm going to set the temperature with the master knob to 350 degrees. The temperature, I want to have fan at about 4. I want moisture at about 20. Now, everything within that cavity will cook the same temp and the same moisture and the same fan, but cook at different times. So it will allow you to put products in. If you're running low, pop a product in, set the time and temp and cook on it while tracing the long cook, which would be the long one at the bottom time-wise. Very simple to use. You can also go the opposite way and actually put the longest product in. When it beeps, put the second product in. When it beeps, put the third product in. When it beeps, put the fourth, and actually build a full hotbar with product. And at the end, it will beep saying all of the products are done. So it will do either for you. And to start it, all you would do is push the start button, and it will automatically go into cook. It will beep when it's ready for each one of the products. Another important part of this oven is you can actually program a cool down. So I can put in there, if I'm cooking a product and it's at 375 degrees and I decide the next product in should be 250 degrees, when I hit that next product, it's immediately going to go to the cooling screen, and all I would do is hit start and the oven would cool down to the next cook temperature. It allows you to cool down quickly. This is the only time also that the oven works with the door open. So if you want to cool it down quickly, you can open the front door to pull in cold air while the fan is pulling air out of the cavity, which will drop the temperature very quickly. When it gets down to temp, the oven will beep. You will go back and load the product, close the door, and the oven will start for your cook. One very significant part of the Combi-King control is the SteamTuner. And let me show you this. Whenever you pick steam in any one of the cooking cycles, you will see this show up. This is a section where you can choose the amount of moisture within steam. That's a very hard thing to understand, but it works beautifully, and basically what it does, it will allow us, by touching the screen to the left, pull it down to the least amount of moisture within steam, all the way up to the highest amount of moisture within steam. The significance of this is you can cook product with very, very light steam moisture, which will cook the product but not penetrate it or destroy the structure, like spinach. Fish is wonderful on the low end. Getting up to the next step, to the middle position for broccoli or cellular vegetables, or all the way over to the far right for things like full cavities of potatoes to be boiled, full cavities of rice, meat like corned beef that needs to be treated difficultly or hard to penetrate the steam into the meat or into the potatoes. A great, significant measurement of moisture with steam that no one else in the industry has. That's the SteamTuner. This has been a presentation of the BKI Combi-King combination oven. For more information, please contact BKI directly at customer service 1-800-927-6887. Thank you.